Welcome to Final Loss versus first time watching. Thanks for sliding by the channel and checking out the show. So y'all got me in a rare moment where I got time to do a requested reaction. So let's get right to it.
Yeah. Look. And maybe I'm delusional for thinking that it's usual. We couple but we fight on days when love is unreusable. Telling all your friends that me and you was incompatible. So tell me how me minding mine got me here in Colada. I know you loving him again. Lotta told me I was friends. I wanted to believe your lies, I swear, but baby, then again, I would never say the things you said if y'all was really friends. If you ain't want confrontation, why you ain't concealed then? Failed to bring the future, we romanticized then. You didn't love him either, that's what's more surprising.
Come on.
But yeah, I was the problem who just kept complying. Even though I had the signs that showed you ain't delighted. All you said was change, but never told the issue. Why does every conversation end in tissue? You better off without her, that's what all the hoes say. I blame it on myself, but there's a victim both ways. I'm tempted to just tell you what's been on my mind and talk to you about the things that's worth reminding. But I'll protect my peace and move upon the chapter when I listen to what hoes say like they was factors.
I like this already. So from Chi to St. Mary. So is he talking about moving from Chi to St. Mary, Chicago to St. Mary? But again, a lot of rappers personify their cities, hip hop to women. But again, it can also be applied to a relationship. So I don't know yet. This is the first verse for me, and I never heard the song before. So y'all get me if I'm wrong. I may be delusional or thinking it's the usual. We coupled up, but we fight on days when love was unusable. That is crazy, right? Because sometimes in a relationship, man, when you continue to fight and fight, sometimes love can't bring you out of that funk. The love that you have for each other sometimes is not reusable. You can't spice it up enough because you done went down a road too far. So I understand that very well. Telling all your friends that me and you was incompatible, right? So now they'll listen to friends. All through the song, he said, your friend said this, my friend said this, the girl said this, right? Because sometimes they want what you have, they are jealous and they're inputting their input into it. You may have some really true friends that tell you, hey, this is not good for you. But you didn't listen to them from the beginning because you were so infatuated, you went ahead with the relationship. So either way, it could be a two-sided coin, but I don't know where it's going with that. Anyway, even though I had signs that showed you ain't delighted, all you say is change, but never told the issue. Why does every conversation end in tissue? This is one thing that I really don't like about people. Sometimes people will disconnect from you, leave you alone, and just cold turkey you, right? Or you can cold turkey somebody else, but you don't tell them the issue that's bothering them. They may assume that you know what's bothering them because you're supposed to be tight, right? But sometimes you really don't know. Or you don't realize that you're doing something that annoys them and you just separate and just disengage, right? Something they've been doing for months and years, but you don't approach them about it. And then you just move off without telling them a thing. But then every conversation ends in tissue. So now you can't even tell me about what's going on because you crying or we crying, right? You bet off without her, the girls would say. Again, going back to that, I blame it on myself because a victim both ways, right? Because it's a two-way thing, a victim on both sides. Anyway, I love it. But I'll protect my peace and move on upon a chapter when I listen to those girls like they was factors. Again, were they a factor in my decision? I don't know. But anyway, I love this so far.
Yeah. Look. And
come on.
And hello, Miss Beautiful again. Hate to double text again. I'd rather give a call to hear your voice, but I just messaged in. Why you ain't just tell me how you felt among the messages? Cause now I'm playing nice about the things like an them. We got two different minds and different expectations. Why couldn't you be clear with all your indications?
Facts.
And then I had found out I met a single standard, but when you told me how you felt, it was too late to answer. I used to wait for cars to hear your lovely cadence. Fast forward to right now, I feel your presence vacant. And now you don't call back or tell me what you're thinking. Is your ex the one you love, or am I your replacement? Yeah.
What a bar. What a bar. Again, I love it. I like it about the hate the double text, because sometimes for me, I don't like to text a lot. I rather call so we can get the communication out better. Because sometimes when you text, sometimes you don't know your tone, your pitch, how you sound, and how you want it to come out, and you're not on the same page already. So when you texting, it's already cluttered, right? You say I'd rather give a call to hear your voice, but then I message, right? But you never told me about how you felt about the messages. Again, going back to earlier, you never told me the issue. I love a scheme, right? We got two different minds and different expectations. Why couldn't we be clear with our indications? This is where we need to stop and call a timeout, because sometimes when we start a relationship, we go for the glory, the appearance, right? We don't dig enough into the person to know them enough before you make that next step. And then you find out you got different expectations, different things you want to see in life, different, mindsets, and it don't work. Why couldn't we be clear about our indications? What do you want from me? What do I want from you? Where do you see ourselves going? Instead of just rolling with the flow, and now you got years and invested in, had sex and you got kids and all the things that didn't happen when you didn't be clear from the beginning. So I love that. I found I met a single standard. I met one of your standards and you went with it. Instead of meeting all of your standards, I only met one. That is crazy. Anyway, I love this bar at the end. And he said, you don't call back or tell me what you're thinking. Again, no communication. Don't tell me what the issue is. And then, is it your ex that you love, or am I a replacement? In fact, sometimes you move on too quick from a relationship and go to the next thing because you're just on a rebound. When rebounds usually don't work. I'm just saying. I love this song. Look.
And yeah. And maybe I'm delusional for thinking that it's usual. We couple but we fight on days when love is unreusable.
Yeah.
Telling all your friends that me and you was incompatible. So tell me how me minded mine got me an inca. I know you loving him again. Lied and told me y'all was friends. I wanted to believe your lies, I swear, but baby, then again,
come on,
I would never say the things you said if y'all was really friends. If you ain't want confrontation, why you ain't conceal it then? Failed to bring the future we romanticized then. You didn't love him either, that's what's more surprising. But yeah, I was the problem who just kept complying. Even though I had the signs that showed you ain't delighted. All you said was change, but never told the issue.
Yeah.
Why does every conversation end with tissue? You better off without it, that's what all the hoes say.
Yeah.
I blame it on myself, but there's a victim both ways.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to just tell you what's been on my mind and talk to you about the things that's worth reminding. But I'll protect my peace and move upon a chapter when I listen to what hoes say like they was factors. Yeah.
It was like he repeated some of the stuff he said in the first bar, but again, sometimes it need to be repeated. You did change some stuff up in a little bit. I believe your lies and I swear, baby, again. So when you move on from that rebound, if you really like this dude, why did you move on with me? And sometimes you conflict it, right? Because sometimes you got that kind of toxic relationship with somebody, you go back and forth. But anyway, if you didn't want confrontation, then why you conceal it? Why ain't you conceal it then? If you didn't want to talk about it, why you conceal it, right? You failed to bring up the future we romanticized. Then again, we communicated a little bit, but you didn't do your part. Then you talk about even though the signs I showed you ain't delighted. Going back to the first part again. Bottom line up front, people, when it comes to relationships, be honest. Be honest. If you just don't feel it no more, just move on. You see all these homicide and forensic shows where people carried a lie too long, they kill somebody or abuse somebody to get out of a relationship because they're done, right? Sometimes you gotta let it go. Be upfront. Say, you know what? Hey, this ain't working. Or even in a dating stage, like, you know what? Hey, I ain't feeling this. Let's move on before we catch too many feelings. Just be honest up front. I'm just saying. Love this song though. Requested reaction from Shada St. Mary. Very great song. I'm gonna check out more of his joints. That was clever. All right, man. Request reaction. Gold star, gold star, gold star. All right, man. Thanks for watching the channel. It's Final Loss versus Subscribe. Hit the like button. Peace.
Just like music.